Welcome to Mike's Organic Cafe. Today we'll be recreating the world famous bakery food, Custard Tart, making it organic and healthy for you. The custard ingredients are 3 organic egg yolks. It means the eggs were laid by pasture-raised free-range chickens. A 1/4 cup arrowroot flour, it's a cornstarch replacement. 1/3 of a cup monk fruit sweetener icing sugar. It's a processed sugar replacement, so your body will metabolize it differently. 1 tablespoon of butter to mix with the custard after it's cooked. 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla to get rid of any yolky flavor in the custard, making it smell delicious. And 2 cups of full-fat unhomogenized milk. Step 1. Heat the milk in a small boiling pot on low heat. If you have a thermometer, use it so you see it starts boiling around 75 degrees. Step 2. While the milk is slowly coming to a boil, pour the eggs, arrowroot flour, and icing sugar in a mixing bowl, whisking it all until combined. Step 3. Turn up the temperature under the milk. When the milk starts to bubble at 75 degrees, not boil, you'll see it start to boil. Take it off the stove and pour 1/2 cup of it on top of the eggs. Then whisk together until it feels smooth. Then you can add the rest of the milk, whisking for a bit more, making sure there's no clumps. Step 4 is back into the boiling pot onto the stove. Stir the custard continuously until it becomes thick. You'll see it and feel the whisk getting heavier, so keep at it. Step 5. Once the custard forms a thick consistency, take it off the heat. Place a tablespoon of butter into the stainless steel or glass bowl. Then pour the custard into a sifter and with a spoon push the texture through. This is to make sure there are no clumps. Then stir with a hand whisk until the butter combines with the custard. It should melt into it since the custard is hot. Then cover with a sheet of cling wrap, just touching the top. Then put on a cooling rack. You don't want to refrigerate it yet, it'll go hard. We need it liquidy to pour into the pastry. Now for the pastry. The ingredients are 250 grams of white baker's flour unbleached. I added a bit more just in case we need it. 1 tablespoon of monk fruit baker syrup. 125 butter cut into small cubes right out of the fridge. So whatever flour you use, always use half the butter. And 1/2 cup of ice cold water. Step 1. Preheat your oven to fan bake 180 or 200 degrees. Step 2. In a food processor, put butter on top of the flour, then the syrup. Place the lid and pulse a few times slowly, adding water, bit by bit. You'll know when you're done once the dough looks like small rocks. Take off the lid, then remove the blades, and just grab a little bit of the dough, squishing it together until it forms. Step 3. Place onto your kneading surface, sprinkle a bit of flour, and gently knead the dough with your rolling pin until you get the right thickness. Step 4. Take your tart tray and with the blunt edge of a knife, cut a circle bigger than the circle size. Then place it into the tart tray, gently pushing the edges and bottom to form the custard tart shape. Then with your baking scissors, cut any extra dough, leaving it just above the rim of the tray. This is to allow for any shrinkage while cooking in the oven, as we are not using conventional processed sugar. Poke small air holes with a fork so the dough doesn't make a huge bubble while cooking. Step 5. Place them on a baking tray and cook for about 15 to 25 minutes, keeping an eye on them not to overcook. Note, they will not change color much as we aren't using processed sugar, which caramelizes when the heat is applied, but they will cook like a shortbread with a little orange tinge, but make sure they cook through all the way. Mine didn't shrink, so the syrup is a better addition than the icing sugar for the pastry. Now we're ready to combine the custard with the pastry. Step 1. With the hot pastry out of the oven and on a cooling rack, stir the custard so it's not one lump, so you can put it evenly in the pastry, then sprinkle with cinnamon. I messed up on my first attempt because my sifter was too big, but I did get a smaller one and done the other two a bit better. But don't worry how it looks, it's the taste and smell we're after. Plus, we're not working in a bakery, so we can fix our mistakes next time. Step 2. Refrigerate for 20 to 30 minutes until cool and the custard gets thick and you've created custard tarts organic style. As I said earlier, I messed up my first one, but you can see here I've rectified the mistake with the other two. Make sure you whisk the custard, making it softer, then place it onto the pastry and sprinkle with cinnamon using a finer sift. Wait to the end if you want to see the finished product. If you want to add collagen protein to your custard, it would be a good thing. Or if you have any leftover custard, you can add collagen protein to it. If you don't want to eat the pastry, that's good too. But after a workout or on a carb diet, you can consume. Enjoy and thanks for watching, and be seeing you in Mike's Organic Cafe, where we recreate foods that taste even better than the chemical filled junk.